up, everyone? It's me, Steph, the alternate, Gianna, the alternative, looking after Popcorn Planet whilst Andy is on his Easter holidays at the moment, and I am joined live by It's Kim and Mr. John Witherspoon. Hi, guys. How are you doing today?
Hey, Steph.
Yeah, and happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. With that being said, guys, yes, more Diddy allegations have surfaced in new court documents that have been refiled over the last couple of days by Lil Rod. So we're going to go through that right now because, yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr., guys, has just been named in this new updated lawsuit that has been refiled by Lil Rod. And we're going to go through this right now, and we're going to really try and get some commentary in terms of what this means, not only for Diddy, but also for Cuba Gooding Jr. as well, because, you know, earlier on this week, it went around the world that Prince Harry was named in a previous filing, he's still named in this one as well. But yeah, the next famous person to be named, Cuba Gooding Jr. So yeah, he has been named as an actual defendant in the Rodney Jones Lil Rod filing, the second amended complaint, which, by the way, was refiled on the 27th of March. So literally just yesterday, guys. This is fresh. And we're going to have to be a little bit careful because of YouTube human review in terms of what we say. But actor Cuba Gooding Jr. Was intimately harassed and assaulted Mr. Jones. So let me just say that again. So actor Cuba Gooding Jr., the allegation goes, intimately harassed and assaulted Mr. Jones. To go through it a little bit more, so Mr. Coombs attempts to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Again, Mr. Jones, we're talking Lil Rod here. So Mr. Jones believes Mr. Coombs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. This fear became a reality when Mr. Coombs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Coombs' yacht. According to Mr. Jones, during the introduction, Mr. Coombs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. And so here is Lil Rod providing a photo in the filing with the tagline underneath, Mr. Coombs and Cuba Gooding Jr. moments before Mr. Jones is assaulted. Now, again, these are all allegations, not proven. Goes on to say, as evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, fondling, legs, upper inner thighs, near his groin, small of his back, near his buttocks and his shoulders. According to Mr. Jones, he was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. The following is a screenshot of the encounter with Cuba Gooding Jr. Now, this is a screenshot. Based on what we've just heard, it doesn't look good. However, if you take the picture just on face value, it could easily just look at like two mates hanging together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this could go either or. Until we actually see the video, to me, this picture means nothing. It could just be literally taken out of context. I mean, what do you guys think so far to that?
I think there's a lot in this lawsuit that people are questioning because of how insane it all sounds. Um, I read through the first complaint. I haven't had the time, unfortunately, to be able to read through the new filing, which is over 90 pages. Um, but what is alleged in this lawsuit is so many celebrity names, so many things happening that are not legal, all those types of things. And I do believe that Cuba has had some allegations previously. So I think this may not be as difficult to believe for some people. But we can definitely say that this individual was there, that Lil Rod was with Cuba. They were together in this room. And I believe a survivor until I have a reason not to. So it's kind of the whole thing is wild. The whole thing is wild. And If it all is true, because it is allegations at this time, good for Lil Rod for coming forward and exposing it, and I hope justice is served. You're muted, Steph.
There we go. Sorry, I was on mute there. Apologies, guys. I did an
Elaine!
Elaine there. For all those OGers from the Johnny Depp days, you'll know what I mean by that. But yeah, Mr. Witherspoon, we've just gone through basically the newer part of the updated filing from Lil Rod there. The biggest part really is naming Cuba Gooding Jr. What do you think to it all in terms of its chances? What's in there? Like your reactions to it, your thoughts, your opinions, conspiracies, whatever's.
Well, I think you're right that it is pretty salacious and it does seem pretty outrageous. I think for me the more relevant aspect of this, well, there are two things that come to mind. I'll amend that again. I'll say three things that come to mind. The first is, as far as Mr. Gooding is concerned, the fact that he has had problems like this in the past does not mean and is not taken as evidence of the fact that he has done something unsavory again. They refer in the law to prior bad acts. There is an allowance for a so-called pattern behavior to come in. That's a different animal than this situation where he's being accused of having done something that he had allegedly some trouble with in the past. So that's one thing. The second thing is one of the elements that comes up in this revised filing is what they abbreviate as IIED, intentional infliction of emotional distress. And that can potentially be actionable in a civil case like this. And I think it's important to make a distinction. This is a civil case where Little Rod is asking for monetary damages versus the other case that Homeland Security HSI is involved with, which would be a criminal case. So we're talking about here a situation where Little Rod is looking for some monetary damages. The intentional infliction of emotional distress, I'm going to paraphrase, basically what that means is that you've done something to someone that is so reprehensible and has been so upsetting to that person that they are entitled to some damages and some financial compensation because of that. The other thing that I'll just mention in this situation is this notion of so-called premise liability. And basically what that says is that if you own a premise, in this case, it's a yacht, I believe, where these allegations are stemming from, you have a responsibility to make sure that that's a safe area and that harm does not come to people unnecessarily who are your guests or your customers or whatever it is. So one of the things that I think they're talking about in this case, in this filing, is something to do with premise liability. And it's especially egregious if you not only were careless about things that took place in this area that you had control of, but if you actually contributed to problems that someone had, if you lured somebody, I'm again speaking hypothetically, if say you lured someone onto a boat knowing full well that something was going to happen to them that they would not like or that was unpleasant, then there's a real problem in terms of the so-called premise liability as well. Your failure to make the space safe and free of harm for the people that you allow into the area. So that's, I think, an element of what they're talking about in this case as well.
Kind of like special responsibility, that kind of thing. Something that and we'll be covering more and more on this channel as the trial gets closer. But we've got Wade Robson and James Safechuck at the moment suing MJ companies, saying that they're liable for the again, YouTube Human Reviewer, treatment that they say they suffered at the hands of MJ. Now, I don't believe their allegations. They've been debunked as far as I'm concerned 1,000 times. But they're using this argument of special responsibility, saying that the MJ companies, even though they didn't do it, they had a special responsibility because they still could have done something about it, that kind of thing, right? So are you kind of going along those same lines as well there?
Yeah, well, and I'll give you an example. It's a little bit of a stretch, but just so people can hopefully have a better understanding of it. I'm sure everybody, wherever you are in the U.S. or the U.K., if let's say you go into a store and some water has been spilled on the floor, or they've just mopped the floor, or whatever it is, and there's a slip hazard, they put out one of those yellow signs that says "Caution, wet floor." Well, that's in some ways relevant to and analogous to a situation like this, where you're talking about, hey, there's a hazard here, and we're going to go out of our way to make sure you're aware of that hazard so that you don't get hurt. If it becomes a situation where you actually create a hazard for someone, as seems to be the allegation in this filing, that's even more substantial as far as the potential for getting some compensation and some relief as a result of that. I'm not making that allegation. I'm not speaking to the veracity or the legitimacy of any of the claims in this suit, but I'm just saying that seems to be the angle that they're going for here, where allegedly Mr. Combs had this yacht. Little Rod came onto the yacht, and Mr. Combs allegedly knew that there was an unsafe or a problematic situation with regard to the other people. And as he said, I mean, the word he used is grooming. That's basically what it boils down to, allegedly.
Okay. And Kim, do you have any final thoughts before we clip this for YouTube and carry on with today's live stream?
I just think this whole case, I really believe that this is going to have massive implications for not just celebrities like Cuba Gooding Jr. I think we are going to see a lot of other names get involved in this case over the coming months. There's so much smoke. There has to be a lot of fire at this point. And I guess I just hope that justice is served, that we get the real information, that people feel safe enough to come forward. And I know that all of us are going to be covering it every step of the way because we're here for pop culture justice. That's what we do. That's what we want. And I hope that we do see that, because I think a lot of people have been hurt over the years, allegedly, by Sean Combs. And it's time for all of this darkness to get exposed to the light.
Absolutely. With that being said, everyone watching on the live, stay exactly where you are. We are going to be clipping this for YouTube. With that being said, though, if you appreciated what came out of Kim's gob, and of course you did, because my logic is undeniable, then do head on over to youtube.com/itskim. I know the mods have been hard at work in the live chat. Shout out to the mods. We appreciate you guys sharing her link. Kim, when they go to your corner of the internet, what are they to expect from you, lass?
I usually do 2 live shows a week, usually around 2:30 Eastern Standard Time on Monday and Wednesdays. Sometimes it moves around, but I let everybody know. We talk about lots of pop culture content, as well as I love to talk about mental health and psychology and how sometimes that factors into everything. We always have a section of the show that's just fun. So even if you're not super into the main topic, you're still going to come in and have a good time. And I'd love to see y'all come on over and just enjoy the show. And we'd love to see you in the community.
Oakley. And if you liked what came out of my gob, and of course you did, because again, my logic is undeniable, guys, then please head on over to my own channel, youtube.com/Steph the Alternate. I'm your nerdy alternative to royal news and gossip. Unfortunately, there were no Daily Nerds today. Had to deal with a little bit of an emergency and look after this channel. So that's that, guys. But I will be going live tomorrow, so I hope to see you all there. And I'm so close, as Andy said earlier on, to 100,000 subscribers. It's absolutely insane. I am literally like 3,500 new subscribers away from hitting that very, very important and insane milestone. And guys, there's nearly 12,000 of you watching. If like literally 3,500 of you click that subscribe button right now, I would be off my tits celebrating live on this stream. So if you want to see that, then go ahead and push that subscribe button. Also, as well, of course, because it is Popcorn Planet, make sure that you do subscribe, turn that notification bell to all, like this stream, and comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's, because I'm sure you have some, and we will be keeping you updated in the whole hashtag Diddy gay drama, anything new, any new developments, and we will be on it like a car bonnet. With that being said, like I said, I'm just clipping this for YouTube, so for everyone else, stay on the live, stay exactly where you are. But for those watching on the replay, here are some videos you may want to clickety-click, clickety-click.